Hey, it's Mariah May. You may know me as The Glamour, and you're watching Unpopular Review.
Hey everybody, welcome to our very late AEW review show. Sorry, the executive consultant left a chicken in the oven, almost burnt down his house. That's why we are late. Anyways, we're here now.
I know how to cook.
If you forgot that it didn't matter if it was seasoned up, if it was oiled up, it's burnt now. You eating it? How you going? How you doing, the exec?
I'm doing fine, except for I know how to cook. I'm a fantastic cook, I might add, because it's EC.
Gordon Ramsay will be the judge of that.
He loves me.
Got a question in the chat already. How was Veterans Day weekend? Mine was just swell, you know. Shout out to the veterans out there.
Mine was super fantastic. It was, went on cruise. It was my daughter's birthday. Great time.
Happy birthday to her. Okay. What we also have here is the Go Home Show 2 Full Gear. And so they kicked it off with Jon Moxley versus Wheeler Yuta. And Jon Moxley and Wheeler Yuta versus Orange Cassidy and Hook. I have a feeling that I know you like Orange Cassidy, but I know you're not a fan of Hook. But that's fine. So this was a pretty decent match, but what really is probably the most important is that they were building more tension for that Moxley and Orange Cassidy match for the international title. They're going to have that at Full Gear. Moxley had some words for him after the match. I should say Moxley and Yuta did win, and then Moxley let him know that streak is going to continue at Full Gear. He told Orange Cassidy he's going to make some orange juice at Full Gear, and he's going to walk away with a cup of orange juice and the international title. What say you, Lisa?
I don't think he's walking away with a cup of orange juice, but this match did what it had to do, which is pretty much set up the further rivalry of Jon Moxley and Orange Cassidy, and throw in a little teaser with Yuta Hook. I don't expect either one of the BCC to walk away with any one of those championships, whether the championship's real as an international championship or fake, like the FTW championship. But I do expect to see two very highly contested, excellent matches coming out of Full Gear.
For sure. And Yuta actually pinned Hook. And so those two were kept pretty strong. You didn't really have one going over the other to give anything away, though you could technically say Moxley did go over because he got the win with his partner. But I thought it was a pretty smart finish to, preserve that momentum. Next, we had actually my favorite part of the show, the People's Main Event. We had Swerve Strickland face-to-face with Hangman Adam Page. And so, as you know...
How was that main event?
Because Hangman Page and Swerve, my two faves, the people's champs, I said what I said. Well, the actual main event technically was a talking segment, but that's beside the point. Anyways, so they had a face-to-face promo where they were barred from essentially getting physical with each other. Not in a hanky-panky way, just no fighting. But I doubt that they could do that either. And so Hangman, he came out and he was very, very fired up because, as you know, Swerve Scott went into his house, spoke to his baby, gave his baby a shirt, if I remember. Or was it a towel? He had a present for the baby. That was nice. But Swerve probably got, I guess, he made it personal, so I guess he got a receipt for that because Hangman Page let him know that he is actually really dumb. You're dumber than you were when you got fired from the E. He's talking about that. So, kayfabe stuff. And then he's like, yeah, that's why your fiance left you, and that's why your kids won't talk to you. That's not stuff that I knew about, but I know now. And so I know people will sometimes say with the work shoot stuff, it's inside baseball. But I thought even though this match was already really severely built up, I feel like they didn't really need to do much more to make this match more anticipated. For some reason, they actually were able to do that. Because I think that Hangman did need a bit of a comeuppance because he was looking a bit like he was on the receiving end of everything, but not really getting any kind of payback. He was looking pretty weak, and he's already lost to Swerve. So I think it was good to let him get a little bit of a tag there.
This is a fire and a passion I haven't seen Hangman Adam Page since his feud with CM Punk. It was very, very well done. I think Swerve sold it very nicely. I like the fact that Hangman Adam Page attacked Nana. Now, here's the downside of this segment, in my opinion, was them talking about how Prince Nana was going to go buy weed from a teenager out back. I think I see why he said it, but I think it was very distasteful. I know the talk of last week was how NWA went with a Coke segment, and I know weed is not on the same level as Coke. I get that. I understand that, but I still think it was a little bit tasteless to say that's what Nana was going to do, and then he was going to take it from him. And kind of hint that he was going to do it himself.
As Stephen A would say, stay off the weed.
Well, they didn't believe this. They didn't believe that in this episode. But him attacking Nana for Swerve not to be able to do anything is very, very good. And I have to also give it up for Nana still in the show because of his dancing with that song. Please don't.
You don't swerve when you drive?
No, Chris.
I failed my road test, so I must swerve when I drive. But anyways, Red Velvet versus Sky Blue. Red Velvet popped back up out of nowhere. I like her music. It reminds me of Too Cool's theme song, Turn It Up, right? But
that's not helping her case.
Say what?
That's not helping her case. I never was a fan of Too Cool.
Because you're not cool. So, this is Red Velvet, Sky Blue. They would have been an awesome tag team, Red and Blue, but I guess that has sailed. So this was to qualify to compete for the TBS championship. And, of course, they gave the win to Sky Blue because she's the hotter act right now. But I do actually like Red Velvet. She's had some, I guess, good streaks or good runs in her. I like the stuff she did with Jade Cargill when they were doing the whole baddie section. I actually liked in the beginning, I think this was her first match, or maybe it was just Jade's, but the tag team match they did with Shaq and Cody back in the day, I really liked that feud as well. So Red Velvet, she's got some charisma there. I think she's really, really talented, and I think she's committed, so I hope that they continue to push her. But it's not her time. It's Sky Blue's time. I'm really liking her transition into her character, just being more heel-ish. Hi there, guys. Excuse me. You're excused. We answered this already, but my Veterans Day was good. And Exec's Veterans Day was really good because he went on a cruise.
Just rewind. I'm not a fan of Sky Blue's character. I haven't seen where she draws me in at all. I'm a bigger fan of Red Velvet, besides the fact she's hot. But Sky Blue, no. But I mean, I'm not saying that I don't see where I could possibly change. But as of right now, I don't see it.
You don't like the Scooby-Doo gear? Speaking of
Scooby-Doo. Speaking of Scooby-Doo, I got a few things for that. We'll talk about that after you're about to say whatever you're going to say next.
I was going to go to the next segment, so. Okay, cool. It was a squash match. John Cruz. You don't need to know who he is because he got destroyed by Samoa Joe. This is a squash match. Obviously, Samoa Joe is trying to make his case to MJF. Have me as your partner. One condition. I want to compete again for the AEW World Championship. I love this a lot because Samoa Joe, because he did get a shot at the title, and MJF did beat him, which I liked. But Samoa Joe is a guy that, especially now on the run he's on, he has a world title run left in him. I know he's battled injuries, so the time to strike is now. It's now or never. If you're going to give him the world title, he can lose it first because MJF still has a lot of steam left in his run, but if you want to, I guess, cushion that blow, so to speak, you have to be like, you know what? I had my attention divided. I was the ROH TV champion. I was doing other stuff, but right now I'm being very intentional. I'm getting rid of that title. I'm beating folks up. I'm staying sharp, staying in the ring. I'm coming for you again, MJF. You are my goal, and next time they're in the ring, I actually think Samoa Joe is probably going to be the one to take the belt of MJF once he gets him in the ring. And I think that's why MJF is avoiding him, because he knows that. He knows that once he sees Joe again, Joe's going to kill him. But yeah, this was a squash match anyways, but go ahead, Exec.
Yeah, he did all his little classic moves in this match to put him over. I forget sometimes he's a heel or a face, but he's not going to be the one to defeat him.
You know that doesn't matter in AEW, right?
Yeah, I can tell. But he's not going to be the one to beat MJF. He's definitely going to be the one to team with MJF, but he's not going to be the one to beat MJF for that title. I can't say I was a fan of this match, but I see what it had to do to get Joe. You know what? Let's talk about it. I didn't like what he did last week, beating Keith Lee and then dropping the title. Thought that was kind of tacky, and I thought that kind of disrespects that championship that he held, that he was trying to make relevant. Oh, I don't want it anymore. What? What? Wasn't a fan.
So you didn't like it because it degraded the title?
Yeah, it degraded the title, and I think it kind of degraded Keith Lee, because what's the point of Keith Lee fighting for it then?
Do you care more about the ROH TV title or Samoa Joe?
Both.
Do you care more about the ROH TV title or Samoa Joe?
Well, I'll have to say Samoa Joe simply because of the fact that the ROH TV championship doesn't mean shit, because they have too many championships in All Elite Wrestling.
Well, that's not an All Elite Wrestling title, but I know what you're trying to say.
It's like saying NXT title is not a WWE title.
No, it's not the same. That's like saying an NXT title is not a Raw title.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, so you don't think Joe's going to take the title from MJF?
Not
Who
at
do you
all.
think's going to take the title from MJF?
Adam Cole, baby.
That's a thing too, but he got hurt. I think there's a wrench there, but that's true too.
I think he'll be back sooner.
And I will say, I think Samoa Joe does come out from the heel side, so I guess that means he's a heel. And MJF is a baby.
You know that doesn't matter in AEW, right?
It doesn't, but it's the truth.
They just make up stuff as they go along. Wait till we get to that street fight, that 8-man street fight. I can't wait to talk about that one.
Penta El Zero.
Hold up, Scooby Doo. We got a commercial coming. Stay with us. You're watching Unpopular Review.
So once upon a time when I was a young man, right? So you couldn't fast forward nothing. You had to just deal with what was on. You remember. So I had to sit. Oh, man. Okay, boom. Oh, man, Powerpuff Girls are on. I can't wait to watch that. But you had to sit through a freaking hour of Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo to get to Powerpuff Girls. So I had to suffer. And I had to watch these idiots. These guys who knew that these guys were humans in costumes. I had to see these guys running their stupid attire, especially Fred, because what was that thing around his neck? What was that, a scarf? A mask. Terrible fashion. Hated them all. And I had to deal with this. And then they had a spinoff just to make me even angrier. So when you guys look at me and you go, and everyone, a few, oh my God, Scooby-Doo meets Hollywood. Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo. There was a dog called Scooby-Dum. Why was there a Scooby-Dum? There was just so many of these spinoffs. And they kept going.
Like one or two versions of it, but that's about it.
They kept going. They made a movie. And then I knew, what was this band called? I forget what they're called. Simple Plan. And then they were singing. I said, this thing is still going. Oh my God. And they're still going. Right now, there's a Velma show. And the Shaggy's Black. Yeah. So when people ask me, why are you so angry? It's just not because I was born angry. That might be a part of it because I didn't ask to be here. But then there's all these spin-offs of Scooby-Doo. There's like a universe of Scooby-Doo. Why are we doing this?
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We got some work.
What is the Scooby-Doo slander? I can't believe this. I bet Ron would know what Sweet Life of Zack and Cody is.
I don't know anything of anything. I wasn't a fan of Scooby Doo. I actually agreed with Ron. Every Tuesday, immediately after NXT.
You guys are some meddling kids. Penta El Zero Miedo and Commander versus the Young Bucks. And so it was a pretty typical Young Bucks match. Actually, no, scratch that. A pretty typical Young Bucks and Penta.
It's a match. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
100%. It's tornado every single time. Tornado.
Yeah, Commander's a bit of a stand-in. He's not a Lucha Bro, but it was a pretty similar match to what they would have with the Lucha Bros.
100%.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fun. The crowd was really into it. And on top of that, the Young Bucks won because this is all elite wrestling. So, of course.
Young Bucks had to win because they have to look strong going into the pay-per-view.
That too.
Nobody cares about Commander.
Don't speak to your commander like that.
Nobody cares about Commander. Let's be real. Nobody does, right? That's why he took the pin.
Well, not in AEW. I know he's very popular overseas.
Yeah, not in AEW.
Yeah. And so, yeah.
Match was fine. I'm sick of the Young Bucks, though.
By the way, these are heel Bucks.
The Young Bucks need to take a break. I think they need to be off
Didn't
TV
they
for
just
some months.
come off a break?
No, they did not. Not long enough. They need to be off TV for like a good 4 to 6 months.
A lot of people I feel like people are just over them. A lot of people keep saying, I'm like, they came back, they got suspended.
They have to be missed.
And they were gone for months, and they came back, and people were like, why are the Young Bucks on TV? They've been gone for months. What do you mean?
I think people finally realized the Young Bucks are very, very overrated. A lot of people blame them for what happened with CM Punk.
So a lot of people are delusional. Anyways, we've got another squash match. The Guns versus who was it?
I don't even remember how they looked. That's what I was trying to tell you. Like, they just got in the ring and it was over.
Before, I guess you could call it.
Their entrance is longer.
I guess you could call it pre-production. The exec said there were 2 squash matches.
There
and
was.
I was like, what was the other one? I only remember Samoa Joe, and he was like, the Gun Club. And I was like, well, that went really quickly because I completely forgot.
Bigger squash match than the Samoa Joe one, believe it or not.
Oh, it was Avalon and his partner. Or is that
Who?
Peter Avalon? The guy who used to be a librarian? Whatever. So they're going to be on the buy-in for Full Gear. So they're going to challenge MJF and a mystery partner for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship. So they want them to be looking strong. So fair enough, I get it, but you blinked and you missed it with this match. Next up, we have the main event match. Final match on this card. That is the street fight. So you have Paul White. Well, it's the big show. And you have Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, and is it Kota
Ibushi. Kota Ibushi.
Got it right. Kota Ibushi. I didn't want to butcher it. I'm not trying to get canceled. Kota Ibushi. And then so they were facing.
If they didn't get if AEW doesn't get canceled for all the Japanese product they had around the ring, then I don't think you're going to get canceled.
That's true. Konosuke Takeshita. I think I got that right too.
Takeshita.
Kyle Fletcher, Powerhouse Hobbs, The Machine, Brian Cage.
On loan from the Mogul Dynasty.
I was going to say, Brian Cage, he went from just being completely dropped off to he's been in a lot of main event or prominently featured matches recently.
Taking L's, though.
Taking L's, yeah, but he's a good hand. Someone's got to do it, right?
Yeah, but he's too big to be taking on these L's.
Too big.
That's a big dude.
So big dudes don't take L's?
Not as many as he should has been taking. He shouldn't be taking that many L's.
Okay, but he took L's to a bigger dude in Paul White.
Did you see this match? He didn't take no L to Paul White. Go ahead, talk about this match, and then I'll school you. Go ahead.
Yes, he did. Anyways, you threw me out. He lost. Therefore, he took an L to Paul White. But, yeah. So
Paul White wasn't the one to pin him.
That doesn't mean he didn't take an L to Paul White. Okay. Paul White came out. He was wearing a suit. And
yeah, well, because Chris Jericho's wearing a suit.
Yeah, but you can barely walk as it is, so I just didn't understand.
So here's what they did. Here's what I thought AEW did well. But if you're a smart, intelligent wrestling fan, shout out to Mike Knox. If you're an intelligent wrestling fan, you knew what was going on, right? So Paul White comes out in the suit, so you don't see his knees are really taped up and braced up, and he had to walk to the middle of the stage. He couldn't walk down the ramp and have everybody attack him. And then they quickly shoved him off to the backstage area so the fans don't see him. Quickly shoved him off. I completely forgot he was there. They had him there. Somebody attacked him. He beat him up real quick. Then while he was attacking that person, another person came and attacked him, so he still doesn't have to move. Slaps his chest. Then they fight to the back. They fight in the parking lot, so now the camera action can work, and you don't see the Big Show still can't move. Because when he got to backstage, what you didn't see was that it was Tony Khan was there with a wheelchair, and then they gave it to him, and then he wheeled his ass over to the parking lot, stood up like he actually walked there. Realistically speaking, you know his ass ain't walked there. Big Show can't walk, right? And then they had to do that segue with Powerhouse Hobbs in order to take the everything off of the fact that Powerhouse Hobbs had to hobble back in the ring, but Big Show can't make it to the ring. So let's get this injury angle going. That's what happened during that.
It's called movie magic. Well, my thought was he didn't want to have to bend his knees to get in the ring, so he's like, let me just walk a little bit, and then like it's a street fight, so let me go to the street where I don't have to bend to get into anything.
After he got off the wheelchair,
this match was all over the place. Bodies flying everywhere, and big meaty men slapping meat. People love that, and so Omega Jericho, Big Show, aka Paul White, and Ibushi, they got the win. Brian Cage took a loss to a bigger person. Therefore, it's justified.
So you can be in a hospital chair and still consider it a victory. Okay.
Well, what does that say about Brian Cage? Or what does that say about Cage? What does that say about Fletcher? What does that say about Hobbs? What does that say about
Kyle Fletcher barely did anything in this match. He was bloodied. What's his face? Powerhouse Hobbs looked like a beast, and then they had to duct tape him to the ring rope and looked like an idiot. So I don't know. Wasn't a fan of this match.
Yeah, Omega got the pin. Not that
on who?
I think he got a pin on Brian Cage.
Yeah, because he takes L's. Brian Cage is the only person who spells the name with an L.
Who's supposed to what?
Brian Cage is the only person who spells their name Brian with an L. Exactly.
Okay.
All right, before we get to the main event of the evening, we'll take our final commercial break. We're zooming through this. Dan the man. I guess he burnt chicken too. Stay with us. You're watching unPOPULAR Review.
Every person in this room has the perfect motive.
Stand back!
For murder.
What do you mean? Murder.
But only one of these suspects is the murderer. Is it the timid Mr. Green or the militant Colonel Mustard? Mrs. White, who helped her husband on his way. Miss Scarlet. Professor Plum. Mrs. Peacock. Clue. It's not just a game anymore.
What I'm trying to get at here, Chris, is you have a world champion in MJF, and you got a superstar in Kenny Omega, and you put these two on a C-level show for no one to watch. How is it MJF should pull creative control and be like, nah, that ain't working for me. You either put us on Dynamite or a pay-per-view, or we ain't doing this match.
But there was a reason why they did it like that.
Okay, go ahead. School me, please.
So the story is that Kenny Omega had the longest championship reign. MJF was about to approach it. MJF needed to get over the... Oh, my God, you're such an asshole. Oh, that still cracks me up.
A superstar in Kenny Omega.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm recovering from that take. Sorry, Steve. Okay. Charmaine says, do you think that Jay White can beat MJF? I think they've done a good job at making it seem like he can, but he ain't winning. but they've done a really, really great job and seem like they can. They've done really well with this Jay White feud. And Jay White is going to come, even with a loss, Jay White is going to come out of this better. Speaking of Jay White, we had a promo from MJF to close off the night. He was pretty much saying that he is going to get his title back from Jay White, and MJF is whack. Charmaine.
Just saw that. She says that every week.
I know. It just caught me off guard because it's random. Anyways, whack MJF said that he is going to get his actual physical title belt back from Jay White, and he's going to beat Jay White, and he wants to find out who the devil is because he feels like he's cursed, right? Feels like everybody that gets close to him gets hurt. His best friend Adam Cole, his new friends, the Acclaimed, his new friends in kayfabe at least. Ever since he's turned babyface, it seems like he's lost his edge. A lot of people are saying that. He's taking losses where he normally would never take losses. Jay White has actually pinned him. So, maybe the devil is him. Roderick Strong earlier in the day did tell Adam Cole, who they had a backstage segment where Adam Cole called in via satellite because he is hurt. Whether that's real or not, I guess remains to be seen. And he said, Adam Cole, I think the devil is MJF, and Adam Cole was not trying to hear that shit. And so MJF is still saying that it's not him. He wants to find out who it is. They're hurting his friends, blah, blah, blah. So that's two stories in one. He also alluded to the fact that it seems like everybody and their mama are coming for him because they want the title. There's Samoa Joe. There's Jay White. Quiet is kept. There's Adam Cole. There's Roderick Strong, right? And so he's saying, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared, but he's up for the challenge. Who do I think the devil is? It's obviously CM Punk. No, I think the obvious choice is Adam Cole, but that makes me feel like it's not Adam Cole. It could be a debuting star. I saw someone say it could be Nick Nemeth, but that would be a dud. It could be MJF himself. Being Roderick Strong would also be obvious and a dud.
Who is Nick Nemeth?
Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, okay. If you're going to say it, you got to say it correctly where people know who he is. Excellent. How are you?
People know Nick Nemeth. It could be one of some other really. What? Why is it just me? Oh. Anyways, yeah. So then Jay White came out, spoke a bit of words, and then said, "Get him." And so his friends came in, attacked MJF, all that good stuff. But this was just, I guess, some last minute because you can't end the show without hyping the actual World Championship match on your go home show. And
well,
so
they've done it a lot
without hyping the world title match.
Yeah, AEW does that all the time.
On a go home show, they don't hype the world title match.
Not in their main event segment.
Oh well, it doesn't have to be main event.
They just started doing this with MJF, and over
having him in the main event.
They have him open the show normally lately, and they've had him close the show lately. That's not something they were doing before. He was always in the middle for a long time. It just started happening, like say the last month or two.
That's true. Or because I don't think that his because someone also said online. Because MJF is a very active wrestler. He's on every show and every appearance. He's there. And we're like, well, MJF doesn't wrestle a lot either. I'm like, don't say that. Not only does he wrestle way, way, way more than Roman Reigns, because they were trying to compare him to Roman Reigns.
Now he is. He wasn't for a while.
He wasn't at first, yeah. I think that the reason also he would be in the middle is because sometimes he really wasn't wrestling. Sometimes he was just talking. And so, especially for a show like this, it might seem a little odd that after such a chaotic, bloody match, you end the show with a guy talking, unless you had like maybe a big return coming or something like that. So it can feel out of place. And so I think you're right. They did this strategically because it's the world champion. You want to place him in the main event, especially this is your biggest storyline and it's so branching and connected. You want to, and he didn't wrestle. So it's like, I can see why they would put this in the middle, but I like that they didn't. I like that they ended with him. He's the champion. But yeah. Ding dong, you're wrong. Sure, man, I ain't even said shit. Go ahead, the exact. Setting a new person who could be
maybe it's this person that she mentioned earlier who is really Dolph Ziggler. I don't know.
Do you know Ryan Nemeth?
Is that the guy that used to wrestle on Dark?
He did. He also had a falling out with CM Punk.
Who did?
Who didn't? Yep. See, I'm glad you said it. Go ahead.
What did you think of AEW Dynamite tonight?
I really, really liked the show. I thought it was fun. And I thought the stories that they have going now are like chef's kiss. The stuff with Sky Blue. I like the stuff with Hangman Adam Page. The stuff with Omega, White, but the match was really fun, to be honest. But it was really chaotic. But not Hangman. Paul White couldn't move, so. But and also Samoa Joe, that story, MJF, the Devil, Adam Cole, Roderick Strong. They have really, really hot storylines right now, and so that made the show really fun. And the matches themselves were fun to watch. I think the best match, I actually think the Young Bucks had the best match with Commander and Penta. I enjoyed that a lot. It's funny because he would say that. Well, wait, no, he likes the Luchas, the Lucha Bros, but
it's the Young Bucks that made me go to sleep.
Yeah, but yeah, I would give for a go home show, I would give it an A-, because I can see an argument for that last segment being a dud, but they had to do it. You can't not have you didn't have him wrestle, and you didn't have him wrestle, and it's the world champion. You can't have him not be on the show. But then his closing segment didn't really work as a main event. Mm-hmm. So I want to say A-. I have to demerit there. Okay. What say you, exec?
I think this sums it up because there's 2 squash matches. So. No, I actually liked it. I liked the show. I thought, one thing we didn't talk about that I thought was the highlight was Tony Storm and Mariah May.
Oh. See what happens when I lead?
Oh, you can blame Daniel.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, Dan the man was supposed to be here, but he was not the man today. I'm kidding. He had a family emergency.
Yeah, it was fine. But that definitely, I would give the show a solid B. It was good. It was a fun show. Conspicuous by their absence was Edge, a.k.a. Adam Copeland. And I've been watching closely because he said, I'll be on every week. I'm wrestling. I'm not a part-timer here. He's missed a few shows.
Doesn't make him a part-timer.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. All right. I think that's good. AEW is supposed to be signing a new person. Who could it be? I know we said we weren't sure. If they're signing anybody, it's probably going to be Dolph Ziggler, also known as Nick Nemeth. I think that's a guy they would want to pick up. But that remains to be seen.
What about John Morrison?
Sure, but what's he going to do in AEW?
Exactly what he's doing now, because he already is with AEW, or you forgot, didn't you? That's what I'm talking about. AEW
John Morrison?
John Morrison's in AEW.
Since when?
He's been at AEW for at least 2 months.
I did forget. But that goes to my point. What's he going to do?
No, too many people are in AEW. They need to stop hiring people and start letting some more people go.
That's not true. Who needs to be let go from AEW besides John Morrison?
Hold on. Let me look at the AEW roster and then just copy and paste.
No, he's not. I don't know. Hold on. I think you might.
He's signed. He's signed. He is definitely signed. I mean, the fact they have more people there than WWE doesn't make any sense. Johnny TV is his name.
He makes appearances for All Elite Wrestling. We know, but is he signed? Whatever. I'll take your word for it. That he's signed.
You should.
He doesn't show up. Am I tripping? So he was in the Battle Royal, and the last thing he did, he was on Dark. Yeah. What the heck? Yeah, he's not even really around. That's fine though. What is this?
You asked me to name some people that AEW can let go. decided
You put Adam Cole and Adam Copeland here.
I mean,
Oh wait, no, you just copy and pasted the.
yeah, let's keep going. Like, look at all this dead weight. Like, who the hell's Mark Quinn and Mark Davis?
You don't know Mark Quinn?
Yeah, so some of these people need to go.
Yeah. Not that let me be clear. I like Johnny Nitro. I just don't see what he could do in AEW, and it makes sense because he's done nothing in AEW.
I've liked Johnny Drip.
Johnny Wrestling. Okay. I think that's good for today. I'm going to go through this list. Tony and I will review the suggestions you've had for release, and we'll see who's going to be let go.
Half the roster is my recommendation.
Not Bryan Danielson being listed here. Anyways.
All right.
Thank you for watching Unpopular Review.